was on TikTok, my For You page, a woman popped up and she was like, me and my husband make $150,000 a year. A lot, right? Well, to me, that's a lot. And she's like, we live paycheck to paycheck. And I'm like, wait, in my head, I'm like, we live paycheck to paycheck. You make 150,000. How are you living paycheck to paycheck? And she was just saying, like, even if you make more, you still live paycheck to paycheck. And now I'm in my brain like, so we're trying to grind to make all this money, but we're still gonna live paycheck to paycheck. Like, that's what she's making me think, and I don't want to believe that's true. But is that technically true? She's like, I have a house, I have 2 cars, I do this and this with my kids, but we still live paycheck to paycheck. And I'm like, is there even a point of trying to grind?
Yes. Yes, there is. There is a point in trying to grind because you don't want to be at the bottom of that totem pole. If things are getting more expensive, you don't want to be at the bottom of the totem pole where you're never going to be able to dig yourself out because you're going to have to keep taking out debt, keep using credit cards, and keep digging a hole deeper and deeper for yourself if your income is not matching up with your expenses. $150,000 is it's a lot of money. It is a very, very decent income. A normal household, an average household makes about 80 to 86,000 a year. So almost double that is absolutely a decent income. But I think the lady that gave her this advice, that made the TikTok about her family living paycheck to paycheck, is leaving out a lot of context. She has a house. Okay, how much did you pay for your house? Did you overpay? Or are you doing like that Dave Ramsey sort of thing where you're paying 25% of your take home for your, or 25% of your gross, I think Dave Ramsey says. Is that what you're paying for your house? Or are you paying about 33%, 50%? That's an addition, that's an important piece of context in the advice that this lady is giving. She said that her kids were in some activities. What activities are your kids in? You know, there's a lot of context missing there for this advice that she's given about living paycheck to paycheck. But the issue is a lot of people do not live within their means. They live at their means or above their means. And what that means is that all of the money that's coming in is also going right back out. They said, "Oh, I need a car." The lady that she was talking about said she had 2 cars. Okay, maybe you need a car. Maybe your husband needs a car. But are the vehicles that you have, are they financed? And how much money are you paying on those? And then insurance and then maintenance. This is an important context. So yes, $150,000 is a lot of money, but it can leave out of your bank account as quickly as it's coming in because you're having all these additional expenses that are coming out, right? That's important context that's not in here. I'm going to let her finish talking. We're going to finish up the video and I'm going to see if she has anything else to contribute that we can talk about.
Is there even a point of trying to grind? Like, is there a point where you're
Yes.
just like catching the money, but you still live paycheck to paycheck? Like, it's like a circle. It would be never ending. And I'm just like, for people that actually make 150,000, do you live paycheck to paycheck? Is that true? Because I don't want to believe it's true.
It's true when you are enjoying a bit of lifestyle creep or maybe a lot of lifestyle creep when everything that you have coming into your account is going out. And I think that a lot of people, they lack financial education. They lack a little bit of financial literacy. As an adult at 31, my advice to everybody is regardless of what education that you got when you were a kid, what education that you think you should have got from your parents or you think you should have gotten from school, you're an adult now. It's time for you to be responsible for the things in your life and the outcomes in your life that you want. And one of those things is reading up on how to get ahead and stay ahead. Does that mean that everybody is going to be successful? It doesn't. But you got to give yourself the best opportunity. And I say that because if you're not educating yourself on finances to the best of your ability, you're always going to enjoy lifestyle creep. You're going to spend more than you make. And as an adult, it's your responsibility to seek that education. I'm going to show you guys the most important book I've ever read in my life. I've read this book about 8 times. I keep it here in the office with me. One second. This is the most important book that I've ever read, and I've given it to a bunch of people. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. And basically, I'm not going to give you guys a review of the book, but basically it's money lessons told in like a parable type of fashion, right? You know how the Bible is told in parables? It's told in stories and there's a lesson within those stories. That's how The Richest Man of Babylon is told. And as you can see, it also has a foreword by Dave Ramsey in this edition of it, the hardback edition, which is why I gave this book to a couple of people. I probably bought about 8 copies. I gave 7 away and I still have one for myself. So to answer the lady's question, to get back to the topic of the video, yes, $150,000 is a lot of money. If you're not making that money, yes, you should strive for it. Yes, there is a such thing as living paycheck to paycheck, no matter how much money you make, whether it be 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures. If you are not in control of your finances, then you're always going to find a reason to spend money because there's an infinite amount of things to be sold to us, right? We understand that. If you don't have some self-control over what's coming in and what's coming out of your account, then you're going to spend everything and you're going to get to the end of the month and you're going to say, damn, where did my money go? You're going to have nothing to show for it. I've been there plenty of times. I understand. But as an adult, you have to be responsible for the decisions that you make with your money. And if you're not careful, then you'll end up in a household with 150,000, 600,000, $1 million, and all of it will be washed down the drain, and you'll be on TikTok giving the advice to other people that you can't get ahead when it's untrue. You absolutely can get ahead. It takes discipline. It takes a little bit of sacrifice, but you can struggle with having no money, or you can be disciplined and live on the money that you do make and make the best of your situation. The choice is yours. And that's the beautiful thing about life. It's a choose your own adventure. And you can choose wrong, but then make different choices later down the line. Those are my thoughts. If you like the video, subscribe to me back here for the next conversation. And if you have something to say it down in the comments. This is the place for discourse. This is the place for discourse. Till next time. Peace.